So you're going to be teaching elementary music, or you already are teaching elementary music. Congratulations. This can be one of the absolute best jobs ever, or it can be pretty hard. So let's talk about some things that you might need to know going into your first year of teaching, or maybe you finished your first year of teaching and you're like, oh my gosh, that was crazy. So going into your second year of teaching, that I really wish that I knew when I first started teaching, because wow, there's just so much that college doesn't prep you for. So let's talk about all those things that I wish I knew that first year that would have made all the difference, that I didn't know, but I know now, so I'm letting you know. If we haven't met yet, hi, I'm Becca. I'm an elementary music teacher, and I'm about to go into my 10th year teaching, which just really feels different once you hit the double digits, you know? So it's been a minute, but gosh, there's so much that I didn't know that first year. Being in music college is so hard because they have to prepare you for so many different tracks all at the same time. So you have to take stuff for elementary and middle school and high school and choir and band and orchestra. And there's so much that you go through. And so unfortunately, that means that they don't get a lot of time to spend on what you actually end up doing every single day. So let's jump into the things that you might need to know to get you through this first year, and make sure you hit the subscribe button also so that you get more tips every other week to help you get through this year. Okay, so number one is going to be, this is really specific, but I thought a lot about what number one should be. Number one is behavior equals relationships, routines, and engagement. Okay, let me say that again. Behavior equals relationships, routine, and engagement. Because here's the deal, friends. When you start watching videos like this, especially, and you start getting tips from teachers, they're going to say relationships are everything. And that's true. But, okay, they're not everything. Relationships are the most important part, but they're not everything. And especially when you're new, and especially when you're teaching a whole school and you only see your kids for an hour a week or 30 minutes a week, it's hard to build that relationship. So you really need to rely on the other things to get the kids to behave the way you want them to. So behavior, student behavior, what they're doing, equals relationships, routines, and engagements. Okay? So at the beginning of the year, you really want to focus on building relationships and building those routines. So that way the kids get used to what they do when they come in the room. They get used to how we pick things up. They get used to how they deal with instruments, how they touch this, how they touch that, what not to touch, what to say, what not to say, all of those kind of things. Like, they have to figure out what is okay in your classroom. So you want to make sure that you have routines in place to make that easy, especially because we're not going to see them all of the time, okay? So once they get those routines down, because you have taught them, like actually teach them, be like, okay, now the first row is going to stand up. They're going to go this way. They're going to walk over here. They're going to pick up a pencil. They're going to go sit down. We're not walking through the dots. We're not stepping on people. We're not hitting people with pencils. We're not putting the pencils in our mouths. Like, I go through all of these things every single year with every single class all year long. But having those routines, like really focusing that first few weeks on like making sure that you get the routines in place, especially how to come in the room, when it's okay to talk, and how to use stuff. Like, those are kind of the biggest things I find. Having those routines will make everything so much easier. And then focusing on relationships, but relationships take a long time, which is why I'm saying it's not the only thing that matters. So students will behave better if you have a good relationship, if they know what the routines are, and also if they're engaged. So if they're like not here for it, maybe make sure that your lesson is fun. Okay, if they're not into it, like, they're not gonna behave as well, and they're gonna be a little more off task. So if your students are not behaving, those are the three things I want you to check. They take time, but those are the three things to work for. I think that is like boiled down the magic. We could end the video now. But we're not going to do that. So instead, number two kind of goes off of that, and that is have a beginning of class routine. This is something that changed my life when I started having a really specific beginning of class routine. Okay, because the students are with their teacher like all day long, and it takes them a minute a lot of times to like get into music mode. Okay, like, I have really strong classroom management because I can't deal with the craziness. And so because of that, a lot of times, sometimes if like they come from a class that's maybe less strict. And they come into my class, they might be like, but then after our routine, they're like, okay, we're here. We got this. Even some of my craziest classes, like, we need this. And it just helps them like get into music mode, shift their brain a little bit, and get sorted. So here's what I do at the beginning of the class. With my older kids, it's super simple. My older kids, all we do is they come in, they sit down, they put their stuff down, they sit down, and then we stand up. We do some stretches. We do our I can statement because we gotta do our I can statement. So I do mirrors up and the kids repeat after me. So I'll say mirrors up. This week, I can read rhythms with long notes. Mirrors away. Okay, so like we do our little thing and then we do a movement activity and then we sit down and then we usually get into like the meat of the lesson. That's what I do with my older kids, 3 through 5. With my younger kids, it's a little more intense. So they come in, they sit down, we stand up and do our stretches. We sit back down. We do our welcome song. After our welcome song, then I will have some students echo sing. So I'll sing like, hello, I don't know, hello, Lucas. And then Lucas will sing, hello, Miss Davis. And then we all clap. And I usually do like 3 to 5 of them. And I track on my seating chart if they are using their singing voice for the littles. And then if they're matching pitch for like 1st and 2nd grade. And we do a couple of them and and since I write it down, I can then rotate to make sure everybody gets a turn. But we'll only do a few at a time and then we'll echo some so me patterns and then we'll do our standard and then we'll stand up and do our movement activity. It sounds like a lot and it kind of is, but it just really helps them get into music mode. You might think, oh, children, they like chaos, but they really don't. Kids actually really like routine. They like when they know what to expect. They like when they know what to do. They like feeling competent, which comes from knowing what to do. And yes, they like fun and yes, they like excitement, but they also like routine. They want routines. Like if you've never like watched kids at a playground, they will create rules and routines for each other. Okay, so I think like that's the basis of like this is really true. Okay, we sorry, I'm talking too much. We gotta move on. All right, so behavior equals relationships, routines, engagement. Have a beat a game class routine. Number 3, not all lessons have to be super crazy upbeat. As an elementary music teacher, it can be really easy to be like, oh, we need to dance, we need to use the parachute, and we need to do this, and we need to do this. And when I first started teaching, I felt like I had to do all of the things all of the time, and a lot of times it was me pouring out, me dancing, me leading this, me doing this, and I was exhausted. Okay. And one day, it was actually during COVID, I was doing online virtual teaching and we did like a listening activity with the planets where we would listen to one of like 30 seconds to a minute of one and they would have to try to guess which planet it was. And we like read a story about the planets. And it was really chill. And afterwards I was like, how'd you like this? And they were all like, oh my gosh, this was so much fun. And I was like, oh, they don't all have to be crazy. Yes, we do need movement. Kids need movement, especially because they're probably not getting it all day. But not every lesson has to be like level 10 moving, playing games, doing this, that. Like you can just do one, okay? You can just play a game. You can do movement at the beginning. It can be a video on YouTube that they follow along with. Like it doesn't have to be hard and you don't have to do it all, okay? So like some of it can be chill. I like to, for my sanity, pick one grade level each week that has a chill week. So this week it'll be 2nd grade. They're gonna do their movement activity and then they're gonna do a coloring page. Okay, or kindergarten, we're gonna read a book. Or 5th grade, maybe they're gonna watch a video. Like I like to pick somebody every week that has a calmer lesson so that I am not losing my mind. Okay, so that's one of those like things that I wouldn't say super loud because it's not very good advice, but it'll save your sanity. So just throwing that out. Number 4 goes off of that, and that is make the kids work. The longer I have been teaching, the more and more and more that I am like, let's make the kids work. When I first started, like I said, I was like doing a 1-girl show 6 times a day. Exhausted because I was up there, you know, we're singing and we're dancing, we're playing, we're doing all these things, and that's great. But more and more I have been like, let's make the kids do more of the work. So that means a couple of different things. Number one, it means that I actually make them do like work. We do more centers now. We do a lot more like small group activities. We do like card games, and we do worksheets. We do writing on whiteboards. And instead of like me telling you what to write all the time, I have them get in groups, and in their groups, they pick out, they write their rhythms on their whiteboards. And the more I've been teaching, the more I've been relying on stuff like that. In addition to that, I will do that a lot with instruments, movement, that kind of stuff. So for example, I'll like teach a song, and then I'll pick one ostinato and I'll have them come up with other things. Or I'll pick, on line 1, we're going to do XYZ, and then I let them pick the rest. And that takes a lot of stress off me, because then I'm not having to figure it all out. And then it also means that they get a lot more engaged because they're taking ownership of what they're doing. So ask the kids, what movements do you want to do? Have them get in groups and pick their own things. What instruments do you want to play? What do you think would sound good here? What's a good option? And they might need some coaching. They're going to need some coaching, especially at the beginning. That's why I said I like to I'll pick one and then I'll let them add other things on top. But that's a really good way to just get the kids doing the stuff. The goal is not for you to be working the whole time. The goal is for the kids to be working. Instead of, hey, play these notes, be like, hand them the notes, even if it's just the letters, like the little letter A, B, C, D, and let them figure it out. They're very capable, but you have to let them have that time after you get the routines in place so they don't destroy things. All right, number 5 is to assess often. When I first started teaching, I was terrified to give the kids a test or anything written. I was just horrified by it. And then the first time I tried it, I was like, oh, that actually wasn't that bad. Assess your kids often. Now, here's how I like to do this. I have a whole video, I think I have a whole video about assessment or grading or something. I'll link it down below. But for grading, here's what I like to do, assessment, grading, whatever you want to call it. I have a seating chart, and on my seating chart, I have little boxes, and each day is a box. And so each day, hypothetically, I can assess something. So sometimes it's steady beat. Sometimes it's matching pitch. I will literally have the kids sing along with the song, walk around with my seating chart, and just check off who is correctly matching the pitch or who's correctly keeping the beat. Okay. Or if we're doing a rhythm play along on YouTube, you can just type in rhythm play along half note, rhythm play along quarter note, whatever you need. And I'll have the kids play along, and I will check off who is correctly playing the right rhythms. Okay. Or if they're playing a game, they're in groups playing a game, I'll just listen and hear who's reading rhythms correctly, who's reading their solfege correctly. Those are really easy things that you can assess often, because if you don't know if the kids know things, then you don't know what to do. You don't know if you need to move on. You don't know if you need to stay on this concept longer. You just don't know what to do. And then also grading is a whole thing, and you don't know what grade to give the kids if you don't assess. And with elementary music, a lot of times our schedule can get messed up. You might miss classes for whatever reason. So I try to write something down. I like to do some sort of grading every week, but my minimum is kind of every other week. If we can do every other week, I feel we're doing pretty well. In addition to that, we'll also do things that are written. So sometimes, like I said, we'll use whiteboards, and they can write, their rhythms on the whiteboard. They can hold them up, or they can write notes on the staff, hold it up. And then I can notate, yep, you got it right. Yep, you got it right. No, you didn't get it right, so that I know who can do that. Or you can actually use paper and pencil. Like I said, I was so scared to give the kids a test, because I was like, oh, it's music. It's supposed to be fun, whatever. Y'all, it's school, so they totally understand getting a paper and pencil. And usually what I'll do is I'll give them a test, and then I'll let them do a coloring sheet or something afterwards, so that way there's some incentive afterwards. It's oh, but then we get to color. And that is also really helpful, first of all, for you, for grading wise, for you to know what the kids know. And also, I love sending home papers. Because if all your grading is just, this, which is my favorite, honestly, because it's so much easier to put in the grade book, because I just go through, check is 100 or whatever. So I just, whatever. But sending home papers means that the parents know that, one, your grades are not made up. 2, you're actually doing stuff. And 3, they might be really impressed that their kids are reading music. So send home stuff, even if it's 1 a quarter, send something home that the kids have done so that they can see that like you're actually doing stuff here and you're not just like, you know, playing games all day. I mean, sometimes we play games all day, but it's not all that we do. Okay. Okay. Number 6 is going back to some classroom management, which is a whole thing. I think I have a whole playlist about classroom management, so I'll link that down below because it's a whole thing. Oh, I have a freebie. I have a free 7-day email course that you can get. I'll link it down below. So each day you get an email and it will send you a video about a subject. It's super short. It's super quick. It's not everything you need to know, but it'll like get you started. So I will link that down below and you can check that out. Part of it is on classroom management, but I will also link the playlist for classroom management down below. So for the classroom management aspect, here's what I want to tell you. Be quick with the consequences. When I first started teaching, I'd be like, I gave so many warnings. Even when I started doing different like classroom management strategies, at first I would do like, you know, if I called your name 5 times, then you'd have to sit out. And then it was, if you called your name 3 times, you have to sit out. Nowadays, if I gotta talk to you, you out. Like we're just not doing that. So the quicker you are with consequences, the better the kids will act. And I know that sounds so mean if you're like, but I want to be nice. Listen, first of all, I keep telling the kids that I'm mean and they keep going, you're not mean, Miss Davis, you're so nice. And I'm like, no, I'm mean. And they're like, no, you're so nice. And I'm like, come on, people. But one of the things that I do is I'm so quick with the consequences. So if someone's off task, I'm not going to be like, oh, stop doing that. Oh, stop doing that. Oh, stop doing that. No. I'm going to be like, go get a yellow card. Like, we're not playing these games, okay? So I card the kids, yes, like soccer. And so if they're off task or not doing what they're supposed to or whatever, they get a yellow card, which is a short timeout at their seat. So while they get it, they can't play games, they can't play instruments, they can't do any of that kind of stuff, but they're still at their seat. If they're continuing whatever it is or do something else, then it's an orange card, which is a longer timeout away from the class. And then if they continue or do something else, then it would be a red card, which means you're sitting out for the whole rest of class and I call home and it's silent lunch. Like we're not kidding. So especially at the beginning, if you are quick with those yellow cards, it'll weed out a lot of the stuff that they're doing. Because especially at the beginning, listen, they're going to try you. Because they're trying to figure out, they're testing the boundaries. They're seeing, you know, what they can get away with because they're kids. That's what they do. And so make it apparent from the beginning that you're not going to put up with stuff and then they won't try it anymore. But make sure you're consistent, because if you are like allowing something one week and not allowing it the next week, it's going to confuse them and it's too much. So make sure, sorry, my dog likes to come and attack the thing and attack me. She's right here at the moment. So make sure that you are quick with those consequences. Like if I say no one's playing their instruments and you're making a sound, those instruments are going away the first time. Now, I will let you get them back because I want you to participate, but be quick with the consequences and you will have so many fewer problems. Okay. And if you say you're going to call mom, call mom. It's not as scary as you think it is. And if the phone number doesn't work, just pretend to leave a message in front of the whole class. Alrighty, so we've gone through behavior, beginning of class routine. Not all lessons have to be super crazy. Make the kids do the work. Assess often. Be quick with consequences. Number 7 is how to actually teach a concept. I had no idea how to actually teach anything. Like I knew that I needed to teach rhythm and I knew that I needed to teach, you know, notes, and I knew that I needed to teach solfege, but I didn't know how to do that. So that is really something that I have had to perfect over the years. I recently had a video where I talked through like how I teach rhythm step by step. So I will leave that link down below to help you out, because that's like a whole rabbit hole in itself. But I was like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. And so it took a while for me to like figure out how to do that step by step. So I will leave that link down below for you, because that's something you really need to know. And I suggest you like bookmark that or save it somewhere or do something so that you can come back and refer to it. I have like one for half note, one for introducing rhythm, one for quarter rest. My half note one might be coming out soon. I filmed it. Did I post it? I don't remember. I don't know. But yeah, because how to actually explain to children music, it's a whole thing. So that can go somewhere else. Okay. Check the links down below. The last thing is a little bit more about you, and that is twofold. But that is have a life. Okay. And here's what I mean by that. Number one, I want you to do music for music's sake, like grown-up music, because it's really easy to get stuck in so-me land where all you're singing all day long are children's songs. You need adult music too. So join a band, join a choir, have your own music lessons where you're still taking lessons. I find that having, like, I sing in a choir, and that is the best thing for me because someone's picking the music. It's adult music. It's adults in the choir, and I just have to practice and show up. Like, I don't have to, like, create my own curriculum or anything crazy, but it makes sure that I'm still learning music and I'm still gaining in knowledge and all of that kind of stuff. So that's number one. Make sure that you still do music for yourself, for your life. The other part of that is have a life, because school is not life. Whatever you do the first few years is kind of like gonna set you up for life. Do not be the last person in the parking lot. Do not be the first person in the parking lot. You do not need to show up an hour early every day and stay an hour late every day. If you need like 30 extra minutes, I feel like that's reasonable. But beyond that, like, absolutely no. The to-do list is never going to end. So just go. It's fine. And why I phrase this as have a life is because I've always had like a lot of extra stuff going on. Like, I've got dogs. I have to come home because I have to let the dogs out. I can't stay at school all day. And so having those things where like you have to go, I have to go because I have to go to choir. I have to go because I have to let the dogs out. Those things like help you get a little more work-life balance because it's like an actual reason rather than just being like, oh, I've got nothing to do. I can just sit at school all day. No, friends. You need a life. You need friends. Like, you need to have those things. This is fun. This is a job. But it's a job, which means you need to leave it. You need to go home. You need to unplug. You need to not put your email on your phone, because whatever it is, I promise it can wait till tomorrow. Okay? Like, yeah. I do not have my email on my phone. There's very few times that I have actually needed to check anything or stay late. Like, work when you're at work, go home when it's time, and do things just for you. Don't sit on the couch all night. Just do things for you. Okay. So these are some things that I wish I had known my first year of teaching. I asked on Instagram for some input of things that other people would say. So here's a couple just really quick. I'll read off. There's 8 that I'm going to read off just super quick. So really quick, how to respond to behavior without emotion. Y'all, it's not against you if the kids are acting up. Even if they say it is and they're like, I hate you. I wish we were at gym today. It's not about you. It's about them. Chill out. If they're not behaving well, they might just not be engaged. They don't hate you. Sounds cheesy, but relationships before rigor. Yes. When I like switched schools a few years ago, and when I got to my new school, we spent 2 months on like games and relationships before I even bothered teaching anything new. Like, take your time, get to know the kids. 3, there's a lot of logistical aspects that you don't have time to learn in undergrad. So if you get to school and you're like, I don't know what to do, it's okay. It's okay. We got you. Number 5, wish I knew that elementary music was my jam because I started in band and switched and never going back. Oh, that's cute. Most things are not as big of a deal as you think they are at first. Yes, they're children. It's fine. Everything's not the end of the world. The to-do list will never be finished, so just go home and start tomorrow. That is so true. And the work will fill the amount of time you give it, and there will always be more to do. So those last 2 are like, yeah, just, y'all, go home. There will always be more to do. Just go home. I promise it'll make you a better person. So those are a couple things I wish I had known when I first started out. You are already ahead of me now because now you know these things that I didn't know when I started. I would love to know if you have been teaching, anything you would add to this list. I felt like there were so many things I wanted to talk about, and I was like, we can't make this video a million years long. Okay, so that's all I had time for. Make sure you hit the subscribe button though, because we have a lot of music lessons, music teaching videos here on this channel, and I have like hundreds of backlogs, so you can check out my channel. Use the little search bar in my channel and you can find like pretty much anything, and if you can't find it, then come find me on Instagram at Becca's Music Room and ask me yourself. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.